Good morning or afternoon or middle of the night, everybody. How's everyone? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, Brianna. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Rajveer. Rajveer? Is it correct? Raj? How's everyone today? Let's see. Morning. So I have a morning. Oh, were you? I feel like I didn't see you in last week's meeting, Graham. I usually interact with you quite.
No, I wasn't. Dude, I've been getting pulled in so many directions. I think I missed like the last two, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I've missed at least the last two. We've had all kinds of stuff going on. It's been crazy over here.
Really?
But yeah, I am here now though. I intend on, unless there's like some extenuating circumstance, I usually plan on being here every Saturday.
Oh, sounds good. Everything good though?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. It was just like we have probably the main issue right now is we have, I'll just say it's like some medical stuff that's pretty serious. It's not me, it's my girlfriend, but we live together. So, and her doctors we have doctors here too, but like her main neurosurgeon guy is in San Diego. So occasionally we have to travel. That just eats up a lot of time. But we're back home now.
I gotcha. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she's okay and everything works out.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we appreciate it. She's doing pretty good though. So everything, we're just, fingers crossed, but everything's looking pretty good.
Okay, that's good to hear. Cool. Let me fix my camera 1 second. I should have prepared a bit better. I have like a new apartment, so I don't have to live in the hotel, but everything's like still getting set up. Oops. Cool. So I see some new people in here. Is that Srizen? Am I saying your name right? Oh, you might be muted. I'm sorry. Oh, maybe your mic is just, I cannot hear. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No worries. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
there you are.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's Reason. Nice seeing you again, Josh. I think I've just been like, what's it called? A lurker most of the time. So I just decided to be on camera.
Oh, nice. I appreciate that. Cool. So I'll just go over like a few updates. For anyone who's like new here, we'll usually just do like a basic Q&A if people have questions about anything. You can like use the hand raising button if you want, and then I'll try to get to you and you can talk, or you can just start talking, right, if other people aren't talking. Oh, I accidentally joined with my normal person email, so I can't moderate the meeting, but I think Dija can. But anyway, let me share my screen really quick. So some basic updates. If you're like really active in the forum, you probably will like have seen some of this stuff already. I'll just talk about a few people have gotten jobs like in this last week, just to kind of give them recognition and let people know, it's still possible to get jobs. So Tiara Yancey, she got a job offer. She said the pay was lower, but it's her first job at NIT, and they're actually sponsoring her a security clearance, which is a really big deal. Because if you can't get a security clearance in the US unless somebody decides to sponsor you, like an employer, and it tends to be hard to do. So congrats to Tiara, that's really, really cool. Post is here. And then Shannon, he got a promotion to L2 on the IAM team. That's Identity and Access Management. It's like a domain in cybersecurity around his birthday. It's very, very cool. Congrats to you, Shannon, if you're on the call. And then Richmond, he completed his bachelor's degree, got a bunch of certifications, completed a CyberRange internship. He's been very busy, and then got a job as an information assurance technician on a military base. And then I don't remember if he had a clearance already, but if he didn't, he certainly does now. Oh, sponsor security clearance. Yeah, so this person also got sponsored for security clearance. So congrats to you, Richmond. That's really, really dope. If anyone's like interested in getting security clearance or like trying to make yourself eligible for one, like a video on YouTube that talks about it, but usually like CompTIA Security Plus is required. It's just required to have. So if you can make yourself, how can I say, pre-eligible, it becomes kind of easier to get jobs that sponsor a clearance. So congrats to these 3 people. It's very, very cool. I'm happy to see people still like getting jobs, right? There's like a lot of like, I don't know, worry about AI and everything these days, but I think, there's still jobs out there. Just the competition is like kind of high, And some basic updates. A lot of people have probably seen this already, but I'm thinking to revamp the threat hunt a bit. So previously, the payout okay, so people who don't know, there's like a vulnerability management course and then a security operations course. And then inside the security operations course, we do like threat hunting. Basically, like an event will happen on the network, and then we like sift through the logs to try to figure out like what happened exactly and discover, who caused the bad thing to happen. It's like a cybersecurity threat hunt. And then we make these like capture the flag type scenarios where to participate in the internship and to get experience on your resume, you have to complete the threat hunt, right? And basically, someone will engineer the capture the flag event, like the threat hunt, and then people will participate. And then previously, like first place, like the person who finishes first would get $250. Second place would get like 125, and then third place would get 75. And then there'd be like 3 additional winners at $50 each. But we decided to flatten the winnings and increase the winnings as well. So instead of doing that, everyone almost gets the same amount of money. There'll be 10 winners. Like the first 3 will get $120, $115, and $110. And then there will be like 7 more winners based on like a random dice roll, like with Python. So at the end of the threat hunt, these people win, then there'll be like 7 additional winners at $100 each. So everyone's like kind of has around the same amount of winnings. And then this will increase like people's motivation, I guess, to participate. Like that's the idea anyway. And then we'll try to do consistently, we'll try to do 2 like elaborate, like large-ish threat hunts per month, assuming like the engineers have enough like bandwidth to make them. But we have a few threat hunts queued up already. So the previous one will end today, and it will have like the current payout scheme of like 250, etc. And then the next one, I'll announce the next one today, like after this meeting. And then that one will be in this format. And we'll try to do like a large one every 2 weeks going forward. I'll try to like lean into these quite a bit because I think it's like, it's really good practice, essentially. Anything else? Oh yeah. So I intend to do also to like help people get into the threat hunt more, because it's like a bit of a learning curve. Like you can learn how to do it in the security operations module, but it's kind of hard to go from that to like actively doing a threat hunt. So I plan to make like video walkthroughs for each threat hunt that talks about at least how I would think about finding each flag and my thought process and everything like this. So hopefully it gives people like a better, I don't know, like ladder from completing the course to actually being able to do the threat hunts and win money. And I'll also reset log retention for 2 years. So basically this means like all the previous threat hunts, people are going to be able to do them like, at least 2 years down the road for practice. And I'll incorporate them in part of the course, part of the coursework as well. But I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. If anyone has any questions about anything, or just, it doesn't have to be related to the stuff I talked about. This is kind of an open mic time to like talk about anything you want or ask any kind of questions.
Hey Josh, went to that seminar Monday. I got some stuff. I just got to put the notes together for you. We'll talk about that in private next week. So it was a great seminar for starting your small business and stuff like that. We talked about a lot of that last weekend. Very informative. If anybody wants to start business, your own cybersecurity business, I highly recommend going to the Small Business Administration. They have counselors that will help you with that as long as you have a good business plan. So again, I'll email you something out hopefully this week, and you can start prepping, and we'll have a meeting. We'll talk about a few things on the back end on that, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks for that, by the way. And then, Susan, were you saying something? There's like some overlap.
That cybersecurity business sounds really cool, but I just wanted to know for the threat hunting and the prizes, what's the requirements to actually start it? Do you need to do both the vulnerability management course and the threat hunting to do it like properly? Like, how long does it usually take for someone to do it? I've just been a little bit busy. I have like a couple of interviews for cybersecurity coming up, so I was just like crowding the courses, just getting some practice again. But I'm just wondering, like, how long do you think it would take to do?
Probably like if you go through like the security operations course, you get a good sense for logging, like how logging works in Azure, and then as well as how to use KQL queries, like how to query with KQL. That's enough to get started, to be honest. There's like this site, I think it's called K7 Cyber. Is that correct? but it teaches you how to do I guess threat hunting and use KQL like really well in like a game format, I guess. So that would help as well. But just the security operations course, if you go through that once, you'll have like a pretty good idea.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Just a quick question, if I could, just on some general questions I feel like I might be getting asked. And I've taken the course, I'm just like, just thinking. Like this, do you know how like companies such as like insurance companies or banking companies, they do periodic testing of their network? And just like how they actually assess the overall health of their system. I've obviously run these questions through ChatGPT and like Grok, and I'm just like wondering how a person in the actual industry might know.
Yeah, it depends on the org, but this is like a really big, broad question, I guess. So I know with banks, they will do. People should have some internal process to like audit their own network every so often, but with banks and certain institutions, they have to undergo an audit. Sometimes like a financial institution like has to undergo like an actual audit. So prior to that, they should have like something in place where they would periodically check their own network against whatever compliance they need to follow. So I don't know if a bank would be like, you might look up, I think it's FFIEC, Federal Financial Institution Examination Council. So you might look up, like I put it in the chat, like FFIEC. So they might have something in place where they would assess themselves against some controls like prior to the audit. Or if they store or process like cardholder information, they would probably have like a what is it called, QSA, qualified self-assessor or something, where they would like have some internal process where they would periodically check themselves against like the PCI standards, because I believe PCI like is required to be audited like every so often if you store or process cardholder data. But the like really hardcore specifics of that, like at the tactical level, probably depends on the org. I can ask more. I can probably respond more if you want to ask more in-depth questions. But also, if anyone has anything to add to this, I'm like really happy, because the answer I gave is like too high level.
No, but that's awesome. That's actually really good. I like the fact that you said PCI DSS, because I have literal, just not the most, but I was doing PCI DSS auditing at the physical and networking level for like a bus, like for the TTC Toronto Transit Commission. So that's about it. But yeah, but thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. To add on to this is like just another random thing that came into my head, but basically like all those stuff just comes down to like reducing organizational risk. There's just like a bank flavor of that, which is FFIEC, and like a cardholder flavor of that, and then like a medical flavor of that, which is like HIPAA. So that's pretty much like how I think about it, like however the org wants to do it. I might have like another chat with ChatGPT and like ask it more, and then maybe if you feel good, you can make a post about it and tag me like what you find. I'd be interested in seeing your research on those. Anyone want to add anything to this that has worked with like in those kind of scenarios? Anyone interviewing for any jobs or doing any active job hunting or studying for certs?
Just me doing the CISSP and some training in risk management framework and stuff like that. Actually, I'm just going to start getting in more into risk management framework for the company and stuff like that, because I figure I'm going to remove the OSINT and CTI stuff and just do the risk management stuff to add into the company. So I'm going to be focusing a little bit more into that, and then later on I'll do the CISSP.
Sounds good. Oh, go ahead, Susan.
Oh, I was just saying, wow, because I did the CISSP test as well, just provisionally passed. But honestly, it took me like a month and a half to study for it and pass it. It's more like an English test than like a hard test. I don't find it difficult at all. Just endurance and understanding how a manager thinks. Like if the question has something to do with money, that's usually the answer. Like managers try to save money, and they don't try to fix problems. Like it was pretty okay, honestly. I think anyone studying for CS can do it.
That is like one thing I took away from it. It's like a CEO mindset, where it's just like measuring the cost of control versus like the cost of the breach, and doing the thing that makes the most sense or saves the most money, right? As you said.
Yeah.
So would someone who have like for example, if I have Security Plus in background, if I have already passed Security Plus, you think I'll be able to pass the CISSP?
It's way harder. I would definitely say that.
I can okay. In my head, this is like how it's organized. Like Security Plus is like those like really fundamental stuff. Like what is TLS? Like what is a Bullard? Like what is a Plenum Ethernet? Like what is risk management? Like the really fundamental building blocks of everything. And then CISSP is like the application of those building blocks. So the CISSP will ask you like a long, elaborate question. That the CISSP questions are not going to be like, which one of these is a block cipher? It's going to be like a really elaborate question about like that will ask you like maybe like which one you should implement and why or something like this. It's like the application of the building block. So the CISSP questions are like usually like kind of long, and then the Security Plus ones are like really like basic stuff. That was my experience, and that's kind of how I think about it. But what do you think about this?
Kind of found so basically, if you know Security Plus, you have the foundation of it. And
I think for Security Plus, I haven't taken Security Plus. I have my GCIH, GSEC, and GFACT. Those kind of gave me 3 to 4 of the domains, and then I kind of just kept on doing the practice tests. Not like all of the time. I read the entire book 4 times, and then I just did the test. But you have to understand at the same time, like I was an employee at the time, so like I just studied, like wake up to like sleep. I would just do that, like no life did. So it's definitely doable in that way.
I would think too. So I never took the CISSP. I have Security Plus, of course, but I took it's been a minute, so I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a lesser I2 or IC squared or whatever they are. I forget the name, but it was like SS or SCCP or SC or CSSP, I think. It was it was a grade below CISSP. But I remember like if you have questions about it, like as far as in relation to Security Plus, I just going off of what I've heard from other people, but Security Plus is more of like, you could almost think of it as like sort of an entry level test. It's just it's like kind of like what Josh said. It's very like it's like nomenclature and making sure you understand all these basic concepts of cybersecurity. But the CISSP is more of like usually when you have that, it's kind of like saying, hey, I'm at like more of the management level. It's not really in the same universe as Security Plus, and like the questions would be a lot different. I didn't take CISSP. I took SSCP. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, that's what it was. And the only thing I really remember from it, because it's been a couple of years now, I think, but it was the wording of everything. None of the questions were very difficult, but it was just like I hated the verbiage they were using, like the way they would word all these different questions. I just remember being very frustrated. Like nothing was straightforward, at least on the one I took. Everything was really vague.
I feel like all CompTIA exams are like that too, where it's like nothing is really straightforward or like it's just vaguely written.
Right. Yeah. So the I2C, or I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it, but the people who do SSCP, they're even worse than CompTIA. Well, I shouldn't say I only took one of their tests, but my experience was it was even worse than the Comp. I have all kinds of CompTIA certs, but
honestly, CISSP there's a really good practice test simulator called Boson Software.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't use Boson Software like every day. I only did the Boson Software test twice, right? And it is also an adaptive test where it asks you the questions that you did really well on less and the questions that you're struggling on more. It took me still 150 questions to pass.
Could you put that?
Sorry, go on.
Could you put that in the chat?
Oh yeah, sure.
And Corey, I've heard a lot of.
I'm not
really good things about
by Boson or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's just something I use.
I use Boson a lot for CCNA. back in the day.
Yeah.
It's like really good actually.
Yeah. It's awesome. You know, I have a quick question because I'm coming from like completely different industries, like, and I'm just wondering, the job description is so heavy. So what does a junior cybersecurity analyst at like a SOC like actually do? Because I was looking at a job description and it's like, how does a person do all of this? I'm just wondering, like, okay, so they look at the logs, but like some of the things in the job description, I was just like, for example, create and tailor. Okay, maybe we've done that before. Let me see. Ensure periodic testing of network infrastructure and overall health. Ensure firewall rules are reviewed to prevent malicious threats and unwanted behavior. Like, you're going to need to know what USS, proxy, SG, Blue Code, and PACs are. I'm just like thinking, what does a cybersecurity, like a junior, actually do? Like, what's their day to day? Like, yeah.
Well, I doubt, and again, I'm not really an expert or an authority on this either, but just the little bit that I've learned is a lot of the times the people who are writing those descriptions are not, usually they're not even affiliated with the security departments, you know what I mean? So a lot of times they don't even really understand how borderline ridiculous they sound when they're, you know, putting all these requirements on there. But short of that, I mean, I someone else could probably tell you better what you could actually expect. I know different places are going to be different, but as far as like when you see on the job postings, a lot of that stuff is, I mean, that's super unrealistic.
Yeah, I guess
Seriously,
I'm
that will actually
the
have to
hiring
do.
manager.
Yeah, a lot of the job listings, I've seen different job descriptions for the same title, and it makes this whole thing like super confusing. I've seen cybersecurity analysts with GRC descriptive jobs. I've seen them with pen testing type descriptions and then called cybersecurity analysts. It's the whole hiring job market right now is so trash. It's like unbelievable. And HR, between the HR and the hiring managers and everybody, just they're looking for unicorns.
Yeah, I get that, because I was asking my friend who's been in cyber for like 6 years, and he was just like, I don't even know what like some of these are. I was like, what do you mean you don't know what some of these are? Just like, but I'm kind of really happy at the pace that cyber moves as well. I love learning, and like learning new things every single day excites me so much. And I like going through Josh's courses. Like, I'm just learning about law and like log and analytical workspaces. Like, I've dealt with like Splunk before, and I didn't understand how they were able to normalize all the logs, and like I'm really learning some more stuff about that. So that's really cool as well.
Yeah, no, they're badass, dude, for sure.
They actually really, really are.
I've even seen SOC analyst position, they asking for CISSP. I'm just like, you kidding me?
Yeah, and like 10 years of experience and all this. It's just like, dude.
You know,
I mean, I took it literally, so that's why I actually did the CISSP, but it hasn't helped me at all, to be honest, because like I don't have the full 5 years, but still, yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, so, and I think Josh actually has videos about stuff, a lot of this stuff. But the 5 year thing, there you can take some creative license with that. You know, if you catch my drift, you can kind of get around that in some situations.
Yeah,
but
like,
yeah, you can. I can also sponsor you, because you just need like, if you have like one of their certs, which you have all those like GAIAC certs, right? It becomes 4 years. And then even then you need like 4 years in any of the 8 domains, or like 2 of the 8 domains, something like this. So since you worked in audit, right? Doing something with PCI, and then
exactly.
I'm sure you can like shoehorn something else in there. And then just use me as your endorser, and then I'll just like endorse your CISSP if you want. I endorse like a lot of CISSP.
I definitely take you up on that offer, because like anything to help me just get through, that would be awesome. Actually, that would be so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
What about I got 8 years of military intelligence experience, and I deal with basically securing information and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because I think one of the domains might even be like physical security. So you have like, you can probably say like, risk management and then whatever physical security, and then like just pick another one. Like I'm sure you meet the requirements, definitely.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And just, of course, just you can use me. That's my ISC squared number in the chat, and then I'll just endorse it.
Cool.
Yeah. And CSSP helped me a lot. It helped me to like get interviews more than not having it. And it is dumb because it's not a useful cert from like a tactical standpoint. Like CCNA was like way more useful for me, and I was like, wow, I'm capable of something. But after getting CSSP, like I didn't really feel any different, other than like I could kind of think like a manager now. But for some reason, like it matches on ATS a lot. It's like the most frequently appearing cert in job descriptions, probably behind ITIL, I think.
Because of that, I'm actually going for CISSP. I know I said this last week, but like it just makes sense in my head. It's like, all these other certs I have, I mean, I feel like they're not doing much for me. I'm like, let's do it with the CISSP, see how that works. But I heard it's difficult, and so I'm just gonna take the bull by the horn and go for it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to just get it out of the way, to be honest. For both eligibility for clearance jobs and just like general job market. William says, is there a balance between simply getting a ton of certs versus frequent job hopping, like getting an alphabet soup full of certs and still working a T1 SOC position versus getting a cert or two before job hopping? I actually did the version 1 of this, William. Like I stayed at one job for 7 years back in the day, and it was like kind of low paying one between 50K and 75K. And I got like a ton of certs in that job. And getting certs, I kind of got too many at that time, but it has like some benefit because it will give you like a really broad knowledge foundation where you can kind of like easily learn anything because you just have like a huge foundation. But if you want to like optimize salary, I would say to go with number 2 versus getting like a cert or two, like really relevant ones, and then job hopping. This is of course better for optimizing salary, assuming that you can maintain high employability and you can get like better jobs every time. But I didn't do that. I just got like a ton of certs, and then I started job hopping a lot. But of course, the economic climate is a bit different these days. Has anyone explored cybersecurity jobs related to operation technology? Oh, I'm interested in this. I think CompTIA is making a new like SecOT cert. I think SecOT. I think they are interested in operational technology and like
Yeah.
But I have not. I don't know if anyone want to answer to this. Brian Murphy, pay $750 to join a useless club. Is this a CISSP or is this like something else?
I think it was the CISSP one. Yeah.
Yeah, CISSP.
Yeah, I almost let mine lapse. I've been like late to pay it probably like every single time, but I just keep the cert so I can endorse other people for getting it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for you. I didn't even have, mine was like the SSCP or whatever. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna keep paying you guys to keep like, it really doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, it's good if you're trying to like, you work in defense and you like need to keep it and like all this stuff, but I don't do any of that. I just like sponsor other people to get it. Yep, SecOT. Will the CISSP help with being a tech PM? Yeah, it will. If you work in cybersecurity or cybersecurity adjacent, I think it will help a lot. I kind of imagine it like, what is that big program manager certification or something? Is that the right?
Yeah, it's PMP.
Oh, thanks. I kind of imagine CISSP like PMP, but I think PMP is like more actionably useful than CISSP is. But CISSP will help. Well, with any of those like manager anything title, it will help. It's a pain in the ass though.
Out of curiosity, could you possibly get a cyber manager role without actually having experience in cybersecurity, but having management roles elsewhere?
Probably. But I think you can. But I would, it would help a lot to have some like basic cybersecurity experience or like some basic knowledge or certification or something. But you definitely can, because like in the realm of managing cybersecurity, the managing portion is definitely harder than the cybersecurity portion, because there's like too many variables, and like managing, especially humans, is like huge pain in the ass. So I think you could, but it just depends on the competition. Like
yeah, I would imagine they want somebody more experienced. What was that?
Oh, I was just saying, like, if there's like a hard cybersecurity like individual contributor with no management skills and like seasoned manager with no cybersecurity experience, like the seasoned manager is probably going to do better because it's not hard to like brush up on cybersecurity versus like an IC brushing up on management. It's like it's easier to just find a general manager. But yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go
Josh.
ahead.
Yes, actually relating to that, right? So I have been looking at these jobs and they're asking for 7 years of cybersecurity experience. I have been in IT audit management for quite a while, but I got fed up with it. So I wanted to start a career in cybersecurity. So, but when I look at this, the criteria, say 7 years in cybersecurity, so sometimes I get nervous. Okay, should I really apply? What is your advice for somebody like me who've been in IT audit for quite some time? I've managed departments. How can I maybe leverage that better in some of these applications?
I would definitely apply. Those like job descriptions are just a dream sheet basically. But when it comes down to it, the only thing that you have to do is basically like convince the ATS or the hiring manager or the panel or whoever's looking at your application that you would do a good job at the role. And if you so the role is like requiring 7 years or something like this, but maybe you have like 3 years of like cybersecurity program manager experience or like 3 years of like leading audits or something like this. And you do like a good job and you have like credentials and stuff. Like a normal like logical person would be able to make the assumption that if your resume and everything's well put together and you have that experience, it's not going to be like a huge leap for you to do the job that they want you to do. And like the 7 years thing is really, really arbitrary because everybody knows that someone could be at a job for 10 years and they'll be like really shit at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus somebody even like who working like 1 year, they can be like really, really good and they can convey that like on their resume based on like the stuff they did. Maybe they have like, some actual experience, or maybe they're like a member of a group and they have some like tangible presence online that the employer can review if they want to. So it depends on exactly what your experience is and exactly what the job description is, but you can always like do something to translate it to make it look like it's easily transferable to like the job you want to do. But it's really possible, and I would like 100% apply because any experience is like really, really good already.
Okay, fantastic. And actually, so I was looking to schedule a one-on-one with you to just maybe go through, because you mentioned many, many years ago when I was applying for a job, ATS was not a big thing. But now I keep hearing about all this ATS, how to maybe do your resume such that, to be able to pass through the ATS. So is there something that I can maybe reach out for? Or do you have a member of your team that maybe I can talk to?
You can DM me or Andrea. Let me see. I'll put her in the chat login.
Okay.
Or she's also in the community as well, but I'm trying to like be more active in reading my DMs, so you can DM me as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and if you want me to like review your resume, just get it ready, and you can send it preemptively, and I'll just like do my best. But you can DM me anytime.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I need to. If anyone want to like do some like one-on-one with me, they can. But I'm probably going to do something. I'm not like how can I say? So I'll do it if you ask me, but I need to come up with a process to do it because I'm like, I don't know a good way to say this, but I'm like really busy outside. And when I do one-on-ones, it like randomizes my like schedule. It's like really hard to do. So I need to come up with a way to like properly like let people to do it. It'll probably cost money, but until then, you can always like DM me and we can try to like meet after these meetings or something like this.
That's a great idea. Let me, instead of buying a coffee, let me buy you a beer for that.
A beer? Oh,
Yeah, just let me know how much, because I think it would be really awesome to get some expert advice.
Yeah, like scheduling. Okay, I'll be like really transparent and stuff with this. So I try not to. Okay, I'll start from the beginning because it might be like really interesting. So like as I'm doing YouTube and publishing videos, like on the early days, like more and more people would want to like talk to me about stuff, and I could like kind of manage it in the comments, and then people would be like, oh, like let me buy a meeting with you. So I'm like, okay. So I like started selling time slots for like $250 an hour or something. and it would just sell out, and then I would do a bunch of meetings, and I would get like really tired, and I wouldn't be able to do YouTube. And then I was like, all right, let me like commoditize this, because I'm not like, I'm not like really good or something. I guess I'm okay, but people like want to talk about career stuff. So I was like, okay, like let me commoditize like this time and energy. So ultimately that ended up being the Cyber and then doing these like weekly calls. So like even somebody pay like $99, like we can talk basically like 4 times a month, and it's like really, really cheap. But sometimes people still want to do one-on-ones, which I will do it. And to make it like really easy for myself and free for the person, I'll try to like schedule them like after the meeting. So for example, like maybe somebody last week really want to have like a one-on-one with me, I'll just like let them to do it like immediately after this live we're doing, and then it doesn't randomize my brain, and they can get like free one-on-one time basically. But if I try to like sell like a time slot for like a one-on-one, just sell it, if I use like GPT and do the economics behind it, it starts becoming like really, really expensive based on like our revenue or something. It's like almost $1,000 for like 90 minutes or something like this. So that's like the meta, like the most effective tactics available or to making money and like business and all this. And that's like the natural progression of things, because the Cyber is making like it's like about $1 million a year. I mean, I have a team of people. I don't like have all that money, it's like 1.3 million. So I'm trying really hard to not like, I feel a bit uncomfortable selling like a time slot for like $1,000 per hour. So I've actively been trying to like think of the best way to deal with those. Like I'll probably like set up some kind of queue or something where I can do like one-on-one, like every week, like one person like after the live stream for free. And then if it starts getting like too shitty, I'll probably have to like start selling them. But I don't know what to do, because I don't feel like I have like a moral dilemma, because a lot of people want to do one-on-one, but a lot of people are just trying to do it for like education to get better. And I feel like it's a bit shitty to like charge a huge amount of money just to like talk for education. I don't know. So I'll try to like implement some like pipeline where I can do like one per week, like for free. And then if it starts getting too bad, I might like, but if someone has like ideas or anything like this, I'm like really down to like.
Well, Josh, I just want to say you're really good. So
Yeah, definitely. $250.
I know you wouldn't say that. I would say you're really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, there are not so many people, particularly in this content creation, selling, all of these educational programs, who really have a genuine heart to just want to help people, right? Aside you, there's another lady, she's more into content creation, that's really, really a kind of, you can tell she really wants to help people. So I know that we appreciate the fact that you really, really being out there, and helping us, particularly those of us that are transitioning from one career to the other. So I would say you're really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't sit down and analyze myself like that. I'm just like existing. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm missing the chat. Let me see. Sorry. I have an ATS chat GPT prompt. Oh, there's a lot of activity going in the chat. William, what mental shift did your transition from working contract work to entrepreneurship require? Curious because you were already teaching others about IT while working, right? Yeah, I was. I didn't know if there was some shift from working full-time to working full-time. Oh, so basically for me, I like to try really hard at work and do a good job and make an impact. And the normal world is not really like a good place for me to exist, whether that's at a job or like whatever. I'm always like falling through the cracks for like every single system I'm a part of. And work was no exception to that. So I would like do really well. And I don't think I'm special. I think that if everyone has like, that's in the similar position as me, like maybe working the average cybersecurity job, right? Everybody has like the same amount of hours in the day, and we have like similar economic background because we're working in the same job already. But the way I allocate my time versus my peers' time in that position is different. And I would try to do really hard at work, and I would put effort into things, and I'd try to make change. But like people have like weird political agenda in the office, or they're lazy, or they don't want to work, or they're entitled, and like all this other stuff. And I didn't mesh well with them, and it makes it really hard to affect change inside of a business, even though you really want to. And I would get abused by some of my managers, and I was just really tired of it. And around the pandemic time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a rule for myself where I'm just not allowed to get money from normal work anymore. I need to go and like do my own company or start my own thing or do something. I didn't really know what to do. I made like a couple apps and I tried to do some like basic other random stuff, but it didn't like work, or I didn't see it through to the end. And then I eventually just like decided to do YouTube, and I didn't know how I was going to make money with it, but I just did my best to like release YouTube videos because I was kind of helping people around me get jobs in IT and stuff. So I just put that on YouTube, and then it just evolved into that, like people asking for one-on-one time, and that was not scalable. So I decided to make a course, and other people are asking for courses. So I just made one, and that did really well. And then they asked for a cyber course. So I made a cyber course. And then there's like a lot of stigma around courses and information product and people talking shit. So I was like, all right, I'll do something where you can't talk shit and you can't say anything about it. So I built the Cyber Range, which is like has real infrastructure behind it and a bunch of other stuff that's not simply an information product, and I made it cheap. And then so it just keeps evolving that way. So basically, to answer your question, like I just realized that working in like a normal work environment it's like a waste of my time essentially if I wanted to like have any real impact. And then you kind of have to like entrepreneurship is pretty hard, so you kind of have to mentally burn a bridge, like decide you're gonna die, you're gonna be homeless, you're gonna make money in entrepreneurship, or you're gonna like be homeless, like not you're gonna go back to your mom's house. Like just if you burn that bridge, it makes it a lot more easier to like sustain yourself. So that's like what happened. I don't know if anyone has questions about that. I can like talk about anything you want, but I'm trying to read the chat. Anyone can like say anything they want. I'm just
That's why I kind of went in that direction. Just the work environment, working with people, and that trying to find that teamwork nowadays. It's a different environment nowadays than when I was working. It's just changed. Society changed with each decade or each generation, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse for me. So for me, and then ageism, when you add that on top of that, it's just time for to go branch out and do your own thing. And for me, I only have a short spell in this game of cybersecurity, but as far as information and handling information and stuff like that, I'm kind of not new to it because I've done it in the military, but it's just this whole cyber game is just a little different. So I'm just taking what I've learned here, expounding on it, and just like branching out and doing my own thing. So let's see how subcontracting works and having my own business. And I'm not jumping totally with a whole bunch of ideas. I'm just branching out, starting to do one thing at a time. So we were surely implementing new stuff to go along with it, and just building it out as a business, as a solo proprietor, and then eventually in the future having employees and growing this business. But for now, it's just me and subcontracting, because trying to do it, working for people, is just start to become a pain in the ass. And I understand where Josh is coming from, because, working for people, nowadays it's especially, I was reading articles, cyber divas, you get a lot of those at work, it's, you see how Josh is laughing? Cyber divas, you're going to be dealing with that.
Yeah.
Cyber divas, everybody, oh, why you asking me? He doesn't know this. Well, I don't know because no one taught me, And I had this one time at my last job. I said, when I ask for something or I ask you to teach me something, that's your time to lead. If you decide at the end of the game you just want to go home and you're not teaching me something, you fail, because that was your time to lead. And they don't understand that concept. They just take it like, oh, he don't know this, he don't know that. So this is where I just said, if this is what I got to deal with in this whole cyber community with cyber divas, I might as well just branch out, do my own thing.
Yeah. Pretty much where I landed. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Corey and Josh, that was exactly my situation. I was managing a team, and once you're at that management level, now you become responsible for not only your production but also the team's production. And guess what? The work ethic of the generation after us, I can say it's not the same. They don't have that same level of responsibility. Just at the end of the day, become frustrated. You don't have time for your family, and you just, And for us, we're supporting external auditors, so it just became really frustrating. And I said, you know what, like Josh said, is I know I'm gonna go dive into the quote unquote into the mountain of entrepreneurship, and just go do it, myself, And so right now I'm looking for contract opportunities as well as, a Corey, like I mentioned last week, government contracting as well. So I totally agree with what both of you said. It's really rough out there.
Let me read this chat. Joshua Gonzalez. I would just keep the weekly Q&A, make it a bit longer. Members are able to ask you questions. That's not a bad idea. I was also thinking if someone want to have a one-on-one, I could agree. If they agree to turn it into content, it can still be scalable, unless it's something super private they want to talk about. Joshua, I've done one-on-ones with people, and it's not sustainable with what you got going on unless you hire more people to take over responsibilities. Yeah, exactly. Or, I charge some stupid amount, but then satisfaction goes down, and I get called a scammer, which nobody wants. Nick, I have an upcoming interview this Tuesday that's centered around vulnerability scanners and delivering security solutions. I've been preparing to talk about my experience, but I'm worried about one of the responsibilities. Writes secure and high quality code using the syntax of at least one programming language with limited guidance. Do you think I should do a short PowerShell course before Tuesday or watch a couple of YouTube videos? I would do a short PowerShell course if you can. And since it's related to vulnerability management, I would definitely do the vulnerability management course inside of the CyberRange, and then try to do 10 STIGs with PowerShell, because we do that quite a bit in the course, where we build out solution to automatically remediate vulnerabilities with PowerShell. So after doing the course, having some business application, applying STIGs with it, I think it will help a lot. And it's something you can talk about in your interview as well. Just to put that skill, because if they drill into you and you can't speak about it, it'll be brutal. Oh yeah, try not to put stuff on your resume that you can't talk to. Or if you can talk to it a bit, it's good, but just, don't lie. Oh, hold on. I see, Andrea, your hand's up. I just want to get to you because the thing in the chat is really long. So how are you doing?
Hi, Josh. How are you today? Well, tonight.
Good to see you in the meeting.
Yeah, you too. And someone called you a fraud?
A lot of people will do that. It's just random. It's usually people who don't like my appearance, if you get what I'm saying, or they just or they don't know what my product is or something. They just see a YouTuber with a product, and then they call me a scammer. And then if I make some I usually will make some offer, some product or something to sell based on user demand. Either I can feel buy pressure for it, or a lot of people ask me for it. So if I make some high ticket offer, because a lot of people are asking me for one-on-ones, and it gets out that he's charging $1,000 for an hour, they're gonna call me a scammer, and they don't understand the progression of what happened or anything like this. So I found it's really it's kind of better to, well, in my opinion, right? It's easier to commoditize your offer and make it really high quality, and make it really good and make it really cheap, and then no one can say shit. They can't say anything unless they're really they just really don't like my appearance at all. Then they're gonna say something. But customer satisfaction goes up a lot if the offer is cheap and really high quality. So that's, I don't know. So,
well,
yeah.
They got to know your beginning to know your ending. So
yeah,
I just that's a shocker to me. But I was going to agree with Corey, because the especially talking about the ageism and the way that the work environment has changed, because I've come from a background where when you're a team player, you're a team player. Everyone is on board, everyone is collaborating. And if it's a big group, you break off into little small teams. Well, I would say I'm no longer with this organization anymore. But however, the environment has changed. I would say I have seen a lot of sabotaging. I have seen a lot of ageism, racism. And I was shocked. I said, is this how the tech world is, or is this just the world? So, I mean, me being an entrepreneur already, it just motivated me more to, I would say, to collaborate the business that I have with the tech business so that I can go into business for myself, using both, because, the work environment is not the same anymore. It's just you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. If even if you're doing a job like he was mentioning, if they don't train you, if you don't know something and you're asking, okay, well, I'm not familiar with that. Are you going to show me how you do it? And what they'll do is they'll rush to train. They'll rush to show you and then say, well, I ain't got time. Or maybe you can let me the next day, and then they'll just blow you off. And that's what I've experienced. And it makes no sense at all to me when you're in any industry, everything changes so much. So if you are that type of person and you want to teach someone, I would say like you, Josh, you created this platform to teach those that want to learn, which you already know, and you created it and you're teaching them in the way that you see how you can teach them. Some may learn it fast, some may learn it slow. However, from your heart, because you are a teacher and you see that you have an audience, and that audience is, coming at you, hey, show us how to do this, and do that. And you say, okay, I'm getting all these requests, these meetings. Let me do something about it. Because when there is a need, the need needs to be met. And that's what you saw. But not everybody have that mindset. So when they spoke about you being a fraud and then having the experience now in tech that I have had, it is wonderful to see people that can give parts of themselves to actually teach something when someone is requesting it, being a part of a team when you got others that want to be a part of a team. So if the environment in the tech world is the way that it is today, I feel so bad for those that are going to be lost in the shuffle because of selfishness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And keep this in mind, we're still getting cyber attacks, and this is how they acted.
Yeah.
You can't even build up your own team members and stuff so you can protect the assets. And then when something happens, guess what? So,
yeah. And this was the same thing I said when they actually terminated my contract yesterday. And what I said, I said, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. They wouldn't tell me anything. But one thing I did say, I said, when one fail, the entire team fails. So this is a learning experience for me. And I had to say that with a smile on my face because I'm very professional. You will never see me break that code because I have to, keep that decorum with myself because I don't believe in creating enemies. I got to have you in my pocket because you're going to see me one day. And I may need you, you may need me. But you are the one that's going to remember what you done to get me out of a job that I know I was good at. And I know I was better than you with my resume and the skills that I've learned doing cyber range and doing it while I'm at work. And I'm watching you mess up and I'm correcting your mistakes. I'm making playbooks for you and you taking credit for it. This is the world that we are in today.
The dog eat dog world out
It
here.
is, and it just blew my mind. And it was a lesson to be learned, though. It really was a lesson to be learned. I really would. I would say, Josh, you're such a giving person. And sometimes we could be guilty by association. You can be so influential, having such a great and humble heart. And I was like, oh my God, I gave all this away. I said, I had to spank my hand. No, don't do that again. Don't do that again because they just showed you who they are. They sabotaged you to get themselves ahead. And I'm just blown away. I'm just really I'm thrown. I'm really am a throw. And I just wanted to say that because Corey just reminded me so much of what I just recently went through.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that. Thanks for all the kind word. I mean, it's not an ideal thing to happen.
I know, Josh, but you know what? I may not have a little bit of military, but I ain't been in full-fledged military, but I'm a tough cookie. It takes a lot to break me. That can break me at all because I always come back full force. All you did was just show me what I should expect and how to prepare myself. That's it. With a smile on my face, wearing my queen crown. I'm good.
Seriously,
So
just
good.
like me when I got laid off, what did I do? I spent time, studying, getting my certified threat intelligence analyst certification. Then I came across the cyber range. I've learned vulnerability management. I learned threat hunting. I focused a lot now on vulnerability management because now this is going to be the first phase of my company that I'm forming. I got some great information. I got great help. Matter of fact, when I was at the SA, the Small Business Administration meeting, one of the instructors say, "Hey, we got to talk because I may have some business for you." So right now, I may start off having some type of business going on just before I even start. But I got to talk to her to see what she got planned. But already making the contacts. Everybody's excited because I was the only one with cybersecurity in there, and everybody was quite interested in what I got planned. So I got a whole bunch of people interested, wanting to help me and stuff, just like everybody else in the room, because my plan was a little different. But I'm going to start in the business. It's going to make a lot of money. And, what about the people that I used to work with? They're going to still working that regular 9 to 5 where I'm working in the business at home, making a whole bunch of money. I win. I'm going to win.
You definitely are.
And you guys in this whole thing, you guys are going to win too, because you guys getting the hands-on training, you getting the skill set that you need. You're going to win as well, because, we're all here to, bouncing ideas off each other, and you guys have a plan B, and your plan B is just can't get a job, start a business.
And you wouldn't believe it, how it's really not a lot of people that know about, the cyber range. I have one individual working with me. They said, "Well, Andrea, are you going to teach me what you know?" And I was like, with this smirk on my face, "Sure." But you know what I was saying in my head? Hell no. Because my thing is that, okay, I'm doing this, and the director specifically asked me about Azure and Tenable and asked me like literally the vulnerability management that we're doing in cyber range. He saw it on my resume. And then he said, "Okay, Andrea, I need you to do this for me." I said, "Hold on a second. Hold on. That's not in my contract. That's not what you're paying me for. So unless you want to change my contract and add to the money that you already offered me, then I will show you. But until then, we need to go back to the negotiating table. We need to remodify this contract because I don't do anything outside the scale of what I've already signed." And he looked at me and like literally looked at me. Did she just say that to me? And my eyes said something else. See, but I don't like it when people, especially, and they're much younger than I am, they use their title as leverage over you. Once they see your skills and what you can do, well, now she has to do what I say because I'm her boss. No, let me correct you. No, you're not my boss. You may be the director of this department, but I am a contractor. I am my own boss. Now, we're not going to do that. We can go back to the table and talk. But I really learned, especially with the contracts. I mean, I've had my own business for 15 years. I know how to deal with contracts. So don't do that to me.
Yeah.
This is really just, I'm I gotta laugh. I have to laugh. I have to.
Yeah, it is different with contracts. You have like kind of more rights, and they can't just ask you to do random stuff. I guess it just depends on like how you want to navigate those with. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Graham.
All
See you,
right.
see you next week. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the advice, Josh. Really do appreciate it. Hope to see you next week. Take care.
No problem.
As well.
No problem. Oh, I'm gonna still like be on for just a bit. I think Graham is leaving, so I was just saying bye. But I just wanted to get to. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce well, but is it Milet Williams or Milliot Williams?
It's Milet.
Milet.
Yes. How are you
Sorry.
doing, Josh? Glad to
Good.
be a part of this.
Thank you.
I have a question. Have you ever thought about doing something in reference to teaching entrepreneurship? Because that seems to be, might be a good way of everyone. The same thing, I homeschooled my son, and now I'm making a transition from homemaker, but into going back into tech. And considering, just like everyone being older, these issues that you may face, I don't look or sound my age at all. I'm not afraid of anything like that, but it's just also there are a lot of things that I'm noticing that's going on in tech that they're not really teaching students that would, be really as a good idea as a camp or something. So I'm just wanting to know, is that something that you've ever thought of, or something that's a possibility?
Yeah, we thought about it, and it is possible. Like me and Sija, actually, she's in the call. She's like the ops manager for my company, but we thought about it because people tend to ask about it quite a bit. So I was thinking to I made the script already, but we're gonna release a video about like my pathway from like nothing to like the current CyberRange, like the current state, and talk about like the different pivots along the way, in a general way, because I don't want people to try to make a bunch of CyberRanges. It doesn't work like that. But there's like some high level guidance you can give for entrepreneurship. So we wanted to like release that video and then get a sense for like if people were interested in it, or like get the general response. Because if people like ask a lot of questions, then we'll probably have to like create some like product around it, or at least just like create more content around it. And if people want more, then we can like create a product. But yeah, it's something that we have been thinking about doing. It just depends on like demand,
Oh, okay, that's great. Well, I'm definitely interested when that happens, because I'm from the city, so pretty much it's a hit or miss in reference to what's available to students and to the youth, whether it be from pre-K all the way up to 12. And as Trump said, what he considers, national emergency, the quanting, I think it's quant computing and all of that tech that he wants the youth to do for the future, it's not being taught. So it just looks like it's an open door and another avenue to do for anyone that is interested and is just curious.
Yeah, I think it's really important, and I think that there could be like a ton of entrepreneurs, right? And then we could all just be offering each other services, because it's not like almost everyone can be an entrepreneur. If you think about how many businesses like you buy stuff from and interact with, it's not like 1-to-1, right? It's like 1 to like 10 or 20 or something.
Right.
And people like don't have the mindset or whatever to know what's possible. So I think it's really good if we can get like proper education where people actually have the mindset for what's possible. I think it's like, I think it's really good. So I probably we'll do something more, but yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then was someone talking? Was that Joseph, or is your mic just like hot on accident? It might have been an accident. Yeah. Does anyone have any like final question about anything like this? It's a bit over, so I'll go pretty soon. But if anyone has like a last question or anything they want to ask or share, I'm down. Yeah. So I guess I'll hang this up, and then I'll end the threat hunt. Ready for this hunt? I'll end this threat hunt, and then I'll announce the next one. So look out for those.
Shameless.
Oh, go ahead.
Would you mind if I do a quick shameless plug for Lessons Learned Open Mic Night tomorrow?
Yes.
With the threat hunt wrapping up, this is the perfect time for you to explain what you learned and, practice talking about that. So if anyone, it's tomorrow at 6 Central Time here. So 5 o'clock Central Time. Feel free to join and, practice what you learned from the threat hunt. That's it.
Exactly. And then you can check the calendar too. There should be like links to all the open mic nights. If you're in a different time zone, you can just, see it in the calendar. But yeah, thanks for that reminder. Where should we send report? Okay. I will put the report in the winners announcement thread, and I'll say something in there to like tell people to put the report in there, and then we can like aggregate all of them. But yeah. Okay. See you guys next week. Thank you so much for the good call, and thanks everybody for like contributing and sharing stories and asking questions. And then we'll post the recording to this in the classroom. So see you guys next week.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next week.
See you all. Thank you.